For today's reflection, I would like to, if I may, go back to the gospel from 2 Sundays ago. This is the gospel where Jesus enters into the synagogue. And a man with an unclean spirit is sitting there. The spirit recognizes Jesus, calls out, "I know who you are, O Holy One of God." Jesus casts out or exorcises, performs an exorcism on the demon, and the demon leaves. Later on, in that same chapter, Mark narrates that Jesus went about casting out many unclean spirits. And then in chapter 5, we hear the great story of the Gerasene demoniac and that exorcism. Now, the reason I bring that up is because after last Sunday's Mass, throughout the week, I had a couple of people ask me the following question. Were these people truly possessed by demons? Did demons really exist back then? And do they still exist today? Do exorcisms still exist? And was that really an exorcism back then? Or was it Mark interpreting what we would know today as sort of a psychological infirmity, but what they knew as demons? And my answer to that question is yes. That probably doesn't help much, but I think it's both. Do I think demons really existed in the time of Jesus Christ and were cast out? Yes. Were some of these people struggling from psychological infirmities? Yeah, probably that too. Do exorcisms still happen today? Well, the church trains priests in exorcisms, so apparently so. But also, can Jesus still, and this is probably the greater question, still heal us from our own psychological infirmities today? And once again, yes. The reason I bring that up is because rather than parsing out this story and trying to decide whether that was really a demon or really something more psychological, which scripture scholars will debate until the second coming, the question is what does that story mean to me? The gospel is supposed to read me as much as I'm supposed to read the gospel. So, what demons what demons do you have in the wider sense of that word? And what do you need healed from in the wider sense of that word? We all carry our own internal and psychological infirmities, our own, as I said, in the wider sense of the word, infirmities. We have addictions, we have compulsions, we have depression, anxiety, fear for the future, obsessive fear about our family and our kids. We also have, in the modern world, it seems more and more, these obsessive thought patterns that build on each other. What one spiritual writer called mind tripping, that I get into these obsessive thought patterns about one person, one group of people, and it turns me bitter and angry and points towards and draws me into cynicism, that my mind can really sort of mess with me, if you may. But we all have, to one degree or another, something, or for some of us, many things that are holding us back from a life of freedom in Jesus Christ, a life of joy and peace in Jesus Christ. These, collectively speaking, are our demons. And then the next question is do we believe that Jesus can help heal us from these things? Are we willing to go to prayer, offer them up to Jesus and say, God, Jesus Christ, I'm really struggling from said addiction. I'm really struggling from anxiety. I'm really struggling from fear of the future. And all this is weighing me down. I need some freedom. The willingness to share that with Jesus Christ, and then the belief that he can actually begin to heal us. So the great question, I think, for us personally is, what is it? What internal infirmity, so to speak, or psychological infirmity is holding you back from a life of joy and peace in Jesus Christ? Begin to address what that is, share it with Jesus Christ, and then believe that he can heal you from this, that the healing power of Jesus Christ is the same now as it was 2,000 years ago, that he can heal less now than he did 2,000 years ago. Enter into that personal relationship. Allow yourself to be healed and live a life of gospel freedom. May God's love be with you always. I hope everybody continues to stay safe and healthy during this pandemic, and I hope to run into you all in the near future.